Hello everyone, good morning. Can anyone please confirm I'm audible or not? Yeah, what we discussed in the last class. Life cycle methods, right? Life cycle hooks. Life cycle methods or life cycle hooks. Okay, any terminology you can use it. Okay, total how many phases are there? 3 phases. Okay, mounting, the next one, updating, the next one, unmounting. Unmounting. 3 phases are there. Life cycle methods are applicable for which components? So life cycle methods are applicable for only class components. Only components. Okay, in mounting phase, how many methods are there? Mounting phase is nothing but first time load. Okay, overall 4 methods are there. Okay, tell me the order. Constructor. Okay, next. Get derived state from prop. State from props. Get derived state from props. Which type of method? Is like instance method or static method? It's a static method. It's a static method. It returns me what? It returns me what? This particular method take how many arguments? This method takes 2 arguments. What are those? Next props and next state. Next props comma next state, which returns one obj. Okay, if it is not there, just you can return null. If you want to return something, some value, that value type should be an object. That object is like what? Your set state method take one object as an argument, right, to update your state variable. Okay, here that variable you can place it. For example, the value of name is like Sachin. From here I want to update my state variable like Dhoni. Then the time how we can update, like this you can update. You are going to return that object. That object is going to update your state variable or not inside your state variable. Okay, this is the one. The next, get derived state from prop. Next, render. Which take how many arguments? No arguments. The next one is like what? Which method? Get derived state from prop, render completed, component did mode. Component did mode. Yes. These are the 4 methods in which phase? Mounting phase. These are the 4 methods in mounting phase. Updating phase. Tell me. Updating phase. Pin anyone? Updating phase. How many methods are there overall? Overall 5 methods we have. The first one, get derived state from props. The next one, first one is like get derived state from prop. The next one, anyone? Should component update. Should component update. Which returns what? Which returns what? Boolean value, either true or false. If you return false, then the next 3 methods will not execute. If returns true, then the remaining 3 methods will execute or not. What are those remaining 3 methods? Render, next, get snapshot before update. Get snapshot before update. The next one is what? Component did update. Component did update is the method. Now then, arguments list. Get derived state from prop. Take 2 arguments. What are those? Okay, next props and the next state. Next props and next state. Should component update take how many arguments? Should component update take how many arguments? 2 arguments only. Same. Okay, next props and next state. My render method 0. Get snapshot before update take how many arguments? 2 arguments. This is my previous props comma previous state or not. Previous prop comma previous state. Okay, this method also returns me what? Some value. Okay, which value you want me to pass to this guy? That value you can return. Okay, my component did update which take how many arguments? Previous prop comma previous state comma the value which sent by get snapshot before update. The value which sent by get snapshot before update method. Unmounting phase. Which one? Component will unmount. Will unmount is the method. Component will unmount is the method. Understand or not? Okay, these are the life cycle Hooks or life cycle methods for class component. Okay, at this point of time, you can say like there is no life cycle methods for functional components, but there has one concept is there. Which concept that is? The new concept introduced for only functional components. Which concept that is? Hooks, React hooks. Okay, using that hooks, we can handle these phases. Okay, that time we will discuss again this mounting phase and updating phase and unmounting phase. So for good. Okay, okay, then perfect. So for any questions, day 1 to till today, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Day 1 to till today, any questions? Okay, you can ask. You can unmute yourself, you can talk, no issues. No? Shall we go to the next topic? Okay then. When you can go with which method? Okay, very simple thing. Mounting phase. When you go with the constructor. When you go with the constructor, when you are going to write the constructor, if I have any work with my current object this at first time load, if I have any work with my current object this at first time load, okay, that related code you can write inside the constructor. Okay, first time load, I want to create one variable, this dot name equals to such. I want to create one state variable, this dot state equals to something. I want to bind something to my function, then the time this dot bind, okay, this dot f1 dot bind. These all things you are operating with what? My current object is only or not. Okay, that type of things at first time load if you want, then you can go with the constructor. Render, you know, right? If you want to return some content, then you can go with the render. Okay, get derived state from props. Get derived state from prop. When this is going to execute, before render method, if you want to perform some operation, then you can go with this. Okay, after render method, if you want to perform some operation, then you can go with this. Insert this component in mount, which type of code you are going to write? Okay, Ajax related stuff. You can write it. This is regarding what? Mounting phase. Updating phase. Okay, again, my render method, my get derived state from prop will execute for every state change. So any state changes happen, again this particular method is going to trigger. Okay, any state changes happen, this method is going to trigger. Now, for any state changes, if you want to frequently do one operation, where you want me to write before rendering here. Okay, after that, should component update is going to execute. Should component update, what is my default value? My default written value is like true. So that always it returns me true. Then it go to the next level, it's what? Render. By default, it returns true. If you want to write some conditions like this, then you can write the conditions, okay, to avoid re-rendering again. Okay, to avoid, okay, all remaining methods based on the conditions. If the previous state value, now current state value, both are like different, then only you can re-render it. If, for example, my state value is like such, you updated like such only, then that's why I need to render all these methods again. I don't want. Okay, that type of things, if you want to handle it, you can go with the should component update. Okay, once my should component update method returns me false, okay, there is no problem at all. Remaining 3 methods will not execute. If it returns true, then it will go to the render method. Okay, now my render method content is going to render inside the browser or not. Okay, just before rendering the content inside the browser, my get snapshot before update is going to call. Okay, previous values if you want. Okay, if this particular one render method is going to execute. Okay, but my get snapshot update is there, right? Okay, at the time of executing this one, my render method changes will not happen inside the browser. Okay, changes will not happen. So that if you want previous values, then that you can go, you can take from here get snapshot before update. Once my get snapshot before update executed, then the time whatever the new changes are there, that new changes rendered. Okay, now my component did update is going to execute. When you go with the component did update means any state change or pop changes are happen. Okay, then if you want to perform some operation, okay, that requirement is there, then you can go with write component did update. If you can write this code here, when any state changes are happened, my Sachin turned to be Dhoni, the Dhoni rendered. After that, I want to perform some operation. My updation is completed. After that, if you want to perform some operation, then you can go with what? Component did update. Now, last one is like, okay, I have one component is there, that component mounted here. Okay, once my work is completed, I don't want this component. Okay, at the time of clicking on the button, just I change this particular state value is like true to false. Okay, that time. Okay, if it is like false, my end operator never go to the next level. Now this is not rendered. Okay, that means it's unmounted. Okay, just before unmounting, okay, which method is going to call means component will unmount method is going to call. Okay, just before that, if you want to do something, okay, that type of things you can write here. That's it. Okay, these are the things, okay, where exactly you are going to use. These are the scenarios. Okay, we'll see in future. Okay, if this particular one, this method is there, I have some work with this particular one. Yes, we can use it. A component mount is there. Yes, we can use it based on our requirement. Okay, any other questions? Shall we go with the next topic? Okay, okay then, perfect. See, my requirement is very simple here. I want to design one simple web application. That's it. I want to design one simple web application. Okay, my application is looks like this. Say this. This is the one. Here I have an header. Okay. Here I have a footer one. Here I have a menu. Okay, I have a menu. Okay, here you can write like home. The next one is like about. The next one is like contact. Okay, the next one is like service. Yeah, if the question is like, if you missed any class, then just you can connect with the narrative people. They may provide that videos to you. Okay, one or two classes it's okay fine, but you are keep on asking them that and they may charge. Okay, keep that one in your mind. Okay, here this is my header, my first React application. This is my header, and my footer is like copyrights belongs to me. Okay, rights belongs to me. Okay, now this is my header and this is my menu and this is my footer. Now the thing is the content. If I click on the home, my home content has to display here. Okay, based on your requirement. If I click on the about, my about content should have to display here. If I click on the contact content has to display here. See here. If I click on the home, which component has to mount? Mounting is nothing but loading. Which component has to mount? Home component has to mount. If I click on the about them, my home should be unmount and my about should be mount or not. If I click on the contact, my about should be unmount and my contact should be mount or not. Same like this service also. Understand or not? This is my simple requirement. Can anyone tell, if it is only the requirement, how many components are required for this particular requirement? How many components are required first? Overall, how many components are required? You know component definition. A component is a simple piece of code which can be reusable. Okay, for now, reusability is not there. Just create a component. In future, maybe based on your requirement, you may create, okay, you may reuse that one. Okay, now itself you can create one piece of code is there. Just create one component. That's it. Each and every piece. Okay, first, this is like a header. Okay, the next one. Footer is one component. The next one is like menu is one component. Okay, see header, footer, okay, footer and menu. Now, at the time of clicking on the home, okay, home component has to mount. About component, contact component, service component. Like this, 7 components are required or not for this particular requirement. In home component, there has multiple things are there. I have a dashboard is there. I have a table is there. I have one carousel is there. Again, you can create based on your requirement. Understand or not? Okay, here for our requirement, 7 components are enough or not? Header, footer, these 4 and menu. Understand or not? So that how we can write our code? That is my question. How we can write our code? Okay, create one HTML file like this. Okay, and then how many components you want me to create? how many components you want me to create? 7 components, one by one, 1, 2, 3, like this, 7 components you want me to create? Yes, you can create it. But so far, what you written the code, it's not a right approach. So for what you written the code, okay, that is not a right approach. It is only for initial days for our purpose. Okay, I need the clean separation. Okay, I have one hollow word component is there. Okay, this is the hollow word component like this. For clean separation, just I did like initial days for our understanding purpose. Just I'm writing like each and every requirement is like 1 5. But in your real time, no one write the code like this. Okay, that means the way of structure. Okay, the way of writing the code. That means syntax is correct. Okay, the way of using these all things are not a right way. You are not using like right way. It's like a single page. Then yes, you can go ahead. But in your application, in your React application, is it like a single page or multiple? Based on your requirement, there may be 100 pages also there. Do you want me to create like 100 HTMLs? It's not a recommended one. It's not a recommended one. Okay, no one create like this. Then how we can create? Okay, now we are going to discuss about that skeleton. Okay, that boilerplate code of your React application. So how it looks like. What are the drawbacks? First, we'll see how we can overcome these drawbacks by using that particular application. What you are going to create? What will you create? Okay, how we can overcome? We'll see. Okay, this is the thing, right? Okay, this is the thing. Okay, so far you written. This is the skeleton, right? Okay, how many things are there? Can we separate it? First 3 regarding what? First 3 libraries. Great. First 3 are the libraries or not? Okay, the next one. Okay, this is what? This is what? Container. Okay, the next one. This one. Content. Okay, inside the content. Okay, content is nothing but component, you can say. Component. Okay, inside the component, can we do one thing? Some extra things are required. Box component. Yeah, this is the best one. So because CSS also covered here. These are my libraries. Yes, perfect. And this one is my container. This one is my container. Done. These are my styles. Okay, which are related to what? These styles are related to my component JSX or not. Okay, this is my component. And this part is like what? JSX. And this one is like the rendering part or not. Yes, these many parts are there or not. If you see this program. Okay, the first one is like what? Libraries. The next one is like container. The next one is like styles and then component and then rendering. Okay, now see, for every page you are doing the same thing or not. Okay, already you did the same thing or not. What are those? You loaded the libraries like this, and then you are going to get that container. And then if you want to write the styles related to component, yes, you return, and then component and then render. Okay, the same code you're repeating for each and every page or not. It's not obviously, it's not a recommended way. Okay, so that how we can overcome this problem, we'll see. The first problem is libraries. Okay, so far how you got these libraries, that means how you loaded these libraries, these 3 libraries. Okay, simply you go to the Google. Okay, you go to the Google. Okay, and then you download it. Okay, and load it with script tag or not? With the script tag. In your real time, no one download your UI related libraries from Google. Okay, not only React. Okay, any UI technology you can take. Okay, maybe Node.js, it's a JS related stuff. Any JS, okay, or Angular JS or Backbone or Vue.js, it's that anything, Angular JS or Angular, whatever it is. No one download the libraries from Google. Okay, why you know? There has one specific guy is there. Okay, one person is there. Okay, he will provide only UI libraries to you. Is my Google provide you only UI libraries, or my Google is like what? Okay, multiple technologies we can get. Okay, we can search. Okay, we can serve that one. We can get it or not. Okay, instead of go to the Google, okay, can we go to the person who provide only the UI libraries? Which one is the recommended one? If I go to the Google, okay, it's like what? Okay, you have to search for UI libraries from multiple libraries, multiple WAR files, multiple jar files or not. Okay, there is a Java one, another one is a PHP one or a Python. In Google, multiple things are there. From there, you have to find and you have to download. But the thing is, one person is there. One person is there. That person is only provide. Okay, he said like I will only provide UI libraries. Okay, any JS libraries you can say. Okay, JavaScript libraries I'm going to provide. If you need the JavaScript libraries, okay, then the time, do you want me to go to Google or you want me to ask this person? Which one is the recommended one? Obviously, this person is the recommended, okay, recommended one or not. This person, you can go to this person. Only JS libraries are there. You can easily get your library or not. Here, only not only JS libraries. Python is there. Okay, Java is there. .NET is there. Like this, different things are there. Now onwards, if you want to get any JS library, do you want me to go to Google or you want me to go to this person? Yes, you can go to this person. Who is this guy? You know, this guy name is like NPM, Node Package Manager. Who is that guy? This guy name is what? Node Package Manager. Understand? Now onwards, any library you want, where you want me to go? Any JS library you want, where you want me to go? You should have to go to your Node Package Manager or not. NPM stands for Node Package Manager. Okay. If you want to go to the Node Package Manager, first of all, that guy is available, right? If that guy is available, not available, then the time how I can ask something to that guy? Yes or no? First of all, that Node Package Manager should available in your machine or not. And then only you can get the libraries what you want. Okay, how my Node Package Manager is available to your machine means very simple thing. Okay, we have to download one software. The software name is like Node.js is the software. You don't think like it's like server-side technology or something. It's a software. Okay, Node.js software you can download. Okay, you can download and install. Okay, once you download and install in your machine, then that time in your machine, my Node Package Manager will available. Okay, this particular Node.js software is not installed, then the time Node Package Manager will not available in your machine. Okay, hey, in my machine, is it really my Node Package Manager is there or not? How I can check? That is your question, for example. Okay, now how you can check is very simple thing. Open your command prompt. Simply, if you want to check in your machine, Node.js software installed or not, if you want to check, one is like Node V, okay, Node version. Okay, if you put like Node version, then the time it gives me some version. Okay, that means yes, my Node installed. Another one is like directly what you want me to check, Node Package Manager is there or not. So npm you can type and click on enter. npm you can type and click on enter. If you type npm, if I click on enter, this guy is going to provide some information like this. Hey, I am available. This is the representation. Okay, some commands they will provide. If it is not there, you can get the message like this. npm is not recognized as an internal or external command. If you found like this, you can say like Node software is not installed. You have to download and you have to install. Okay, other than this, okay, not found. Okay, not found as an internal or external command. Other than this, if you see this message, then you can say like what? Yes, my node is there. This is the way you have to check. Okay. Now one problem solved, right? Okay, this burden I don't want to take care. Okay, who will take care? To whom you are going to ask? For my Node Package Manager or not? Okay, how you can ask? Okay, how that guy is going to provide? We'll see. That is the second area. Understand or not? So for good, this spot appear okay or not? Okay, the next thing about the container. Let's start. Container. Now tell me, in your application, is a React or Angular or whatever it is, this client-side applications or client-side technology related applications, where it is going to load? My client-side application, where it is going to run? Simple. Inside the browser or not? Inside the browser, which file is going to run? Only one file we can run. One file only we can run it or not? Which file? That is HTML files only or not? Okay, directly running, I'm telling. Okay, hey, CSS also there. CSS also loading inside the browser. Means directly CSS is not loading in your browser. Right? If I click on the double click, okay, if you see here, okay, internally there has one HTML file is going to load. Okay, don't ask like, Okay, JS file also loaded inside the browser means directly JS I'm not loading. That JS file, okay, I'm loading inside my HTML. At the time of loading my HTML, my JS and my CSS are going to load or not. So that one HTML file should compulsory or not. Either any UI technology, okay, either say Angular or React or Vue or Backbone, whatever it is. Okay, so that here my container, this part is what? What is the difference between line number 18 and line number 38? What is the difference between this one and this one? Line number 18 and line number 38. The line number 38 also seems like HTML only. Here also, this one is also seems like HTML only. What is the difference between this one and this one? This content written by component, that one we can say like what? JSX is not HTML. JSX is not HTML. Okay, this one out of your component, this one is like a pure HTML or not? Pure HTML or not? Agreed with the statement? So that here, my line number 18 is like a HTML or not? Okay, HTML code where you can write? Where you want me to write the HTML? Inside one HTML file or not? Inside one HTML file or not? So that, okay, so can I create one HTML file? Can I place this content inside that HTML file? Can I run that one? Can I run that one? Okay, once it is run, this particular div is available, then inside the div we can render it by using render method, this component or not. So that, okay, now onwards, I don't want to write this one directly inside my box c.html or something. A separate HTML file I'm going to create. Which one is the recommended name? Index.html is the separate file. Okay, now I'm going to create one index.html file. Inside that HTML file, I'm going to write like a container. Whatever the components are there, that components you can load inside the container. 100 components are there. All components where it's going to load inside this container only or not? Why? Because inside this container, we can load only one component. What is that? Root component. Okay, this is my root component. Inside this component, 99 components you can put it. 1000 components you can put it. That's not an issue for me. But only root component only rendered your content inside the container or not? Only one component. Remaining all components placed where? Inside my box only or not? Yes or no? For example, 10 components are there. Those 10 components are going to load where? Okay, here you want me to write 10 components. It's not a recommended one. Just write one root component. Inside that root component, place all your 10 components. That root component you can render inside this particular one or not? Agreed? Yes or no? This is the way it's going to work. So that here I'm going to write one index.html. I want to place like what? One container there. But all your content is going to place inside this container only or not? Inside this container only or not? Agreed? Okay, now onwards, how many files are going to run? Okay, inside the browser, how many files are going to run? Inside the browser, only one file or not? Which file? That is index.html or not? All your components, content, and everything is going to load inside the root component. That root component container is going to load inside the container or not? So that only one file is going to load it. Okay, remaining all components, remaining all content come and load inside this particular file only or not? So that we can say my React is like a single page application. Single page application spa. Because only one file is going to load, remaining all components, remaining all files come and load inside this particular file only or not? Inside this container only or not? So that why we can say like what? The React is like what? Single page application or not? Agreed? Up to here, okay or not? Two things. Okay, my libraries takes care by npm. Okay, I created one index.html. I place my container here. Okay, done. The next thing, come to the styles one. See, in the past, everything I place inside only one file. Now I want to make it is like clean separation. That's it. In the past, it's like tightly coupled, all these things. Now it's just I want to write like I want to make it like separate. Okay, library is one part. Okay, give it the responsibilities to one guy. Okay, container. Okay, give it the responsibility to index.html. Styles, give this responsibility to my CSS file, like that. Okay, super good. The next thing here. These all if you observe. Okay, can I take this part out of this? Okay, perfect. Now we are going to see these things. Okay. Now come on. This is my style. This is my style. This style is belongs to which component? This style is belongs to which component? Tell me first. Okay, I'll answer your questions now. Okay, this style is belongs to which component? This style, this CSS belongs to which component? This component, right? I'm asking like which component? Box component only or not? Yes or no? Why? Because inside my box only, right? Okay, this is my JSX content and this is my box ID. For that ID only, right? You return some piece of code, some CSS. Now, this particular component, this all line number 5 to line number 17, okay, it belongs to one component or not? Which component that is? Line number 5 to line number 17. Okay, this code belongs to my box component or not? Now, you can say my component is the combination of how many things? This all code belongs to box component. Okay, then my component is the combination of how many files? By seeing this one, you can say my component is the combination of how many files? 3 files. Okay, what do you know? This is my what? CSS class box. Class box is nothing but what? Class box. Where you want me to write this code? Class. Where you want me to write? One JS, and this one is what? Your JSX code or not? This one is like your JSX code or not? My component finally combination of how many files? 3 files or not? One is like box.jsx, box.js, you can say. Okay, the next one is like box.jsx. Okay, the next one is like box.css or not? My component is the combination of these 3 files or not? Okay, why I need to separate again? Why I need to separate again means very simple thing. In your real time, in your company, few people they recruited for only designing purpose, few people for development purpose. For example, think like that. Nowadays it's not like that. Okay, all are like mean stack developers or full stack developers only. Okay, think like that. Okay, that means some people are working for designing, some people are working for development side. So that here my CSS and my JSX, which part who has to handle? My CSS and my JSX who has to handle? My designer has to handle or not? Once my designing and everything is completed, then the type this guy is going to perform some operations on this particular view or something, right? Okay, that is nothing but development side. So that if you put all these things inside a single file, then the time my designing part and my development part tightly coupled, then the time how two people are going to work. If I separate like 3 parts, now these two are work with whom? Okay, designer, and this guy, this box.js is going to work with whom? My developer or not? Like that, I need a clean separation. Okay, so that my component is the combination of how many files? 3 files or not? Agreed so far? Now you can say inside this JS, what code you want me to write? Inside this JSX, what type of code you want me to write? Inside the CSS, what type of code you want me to write? That one you can say. Come on, JS. Which type of code you want me to write? 3 files are there. Come on. 3 files are there. Simple, right? Inside my CSS, this is the code or not? Great. Inside the CSS, this is the code or not? Okay. Inside the JS, this is the code or not? This is the code or not? Now you may ask the question, hey, if you write like this, okay, this is the class, so that you put like box.js, but this part is there, right? This part should be in which file? This part should be in which file? This part should be in which file? This part should be in the JSX file or not? So that one you have to manage. How you can manage? I will say this. Very simple thing. JSX stands for what? JavaScript and XML. Okay, that means JavaScript code also you can write inside the file or not? Agreed? JavaScript file also, JavaScript syntax also we can use inside the JSX file or not? Agreed or not? Simple thing, very simple. Okay, perfect. I am going to write one method here. Okay, I am going to write like one method. See, syntactically it's correct or not? Just tell me. Template. Okay, that method return this content. That method return this content. Now tell me how we can get this content inside this box.js file. That's my requirement. Tell me. Both are like different files. Okay, one is like box.js, another one is like box.jsx. Both are inside which folder? Box folder. Both are inside which folder? Box folder. Both are inside box folder. Now tell me, inside my box.jsx, one function is there. That function returns some content. That content used here. Okay, how we can get this? How we can get some content from one file to another file? How we can get that content from one file to another file means very simple thing. First, you should have to export here. Okay, who want to give the content to some other person? There you have to export. Who want to take the content from that particular file? You have to import or not. So that here can we export it? How we can export? Okay, already we discussed with default and without default. Export default default. What do you want me to export? My template or not? Okay, you can export this one. That's perfect. Who wants the data? Who wants the which file wants the data? My JS file. So that from which file? JSX file. So can we import from the JSX file? Import. Okay. Put any name, no problem at all. From which file? My box.js import something from which file? Box.jsx. Both are within the same folder. How we can represent the same folder? By using the dot from which file? Box.jsx or not. Perfect. Now tell me, my x is the written or exported value of this particular file or not. So that my x is an exported value of box.jsx. What is my exported value? What you exported here? What you exported here? What you exported here? You exported a template or not? So that instead of x, directly can you place the template? Any problem with this? Any name you can put it. Export default. Any name. No problem at all. Now tell me, my template is which type? My template is which type? Export default template you exported. Here I imported. What is my type of the template? My JSX is returns me something, exported something. What is the type of this template? What is the type of this template? What do you think more? Okay, I exported here. The template is like what? A function, right? Export default template is a function. Here you imported what? A function only. If it is a function, how we can get the content? By calling or not. That's it. By calling or not. Agreed? Up to okay or not? Okay. Can anyone tell what is missing? The next thing. Okay, yes, you can put export here itself syntactical. In future we'll see. Okay, you can put it syntactical, it's correct. Okay, next. What is missing here? You added this JSX into here. What about the CSS? This CSS where you want me to use? This CSS where you want me to use? ID box related to which file? Yes, perfect. It's a JSX file or not? So if you want to use this CSS into my box.jsx, why? Because this CSS is only for what? Box. Okay, this CSS I want to load in box content where you loaded or not. Where is my box content? My box content is here. So that can we load the CSS. How we can load one CSS file? Can anyone guess? If you want to load one CSS, very simple thing. Import. There is no exports, nothing. Import. From which file you want me to take? Okay, same folder, box.css file or not. Done. This is the way you have to import. Now see this, the combination. My CSS loaded into my JSX. Okay, my JSX is loaded into my JS, so that finally my JS contains what? All your 3 files or not. Finally, my JS contains what? All your 3 files or not. Now tell me, within the 3 files, which file is going to represent your component? That is my final question. Which file is going to represent your component? Yes, my box.js file is going to represent your component or not. If you want to load that component, my component is here. If you want to load, what do you want me to do? If you want to load this component, what do you want me to do? You have to export this component or not. So how you can export? Export default my box. That's it. Now, whenever you export this component, yes, you can import it wherever you want. Agreed or not? This is the final structure of your component or not. Here, see this. Inside this component, you can write any number of components. Yes, you can write it, but it's not recommended. This is related to box component. This is related to box template, box related content. Here also you can write multiple methods. You can export default or export it. Multiple things are there. You can export. Okay, your wish. But this is the content is related to only box, right? Then that why I need to write multiple things. There is no need to write. This is related to my CSS. Grid or not? So for good. Okay, now onwards, if you want to write any component if you want me to write, okay, how many files you want me to write? How many files you want me to write? Okay, three files you want. I want to write. Why? Because I need a clean separation. One is like JS file, another one is like CSS, another one is like JSX. Okay, for example, in our requirement, overall, how many components you want me to create? How many components you want me to create? Okay, how many components you want me to create? Okay, see this. Any JavaScript code you can write, no problem at all. Okay, function is a simple thing. If it is a class, then that you have to create an object and you have to call it. Okay, if it is like class, how we can write it? My class template. My class template. Here you have to write one more method. Okay, this method has to return. This method has to return your content. Okay, now anyone wants this content, F1. He has to create an object and then he has to call it. Why I need? Okay, simply write one function, just export it. Okay, who wants that function? Just he's going to call it. See, any JavaScript possible code, any JavaScript code you can write it, no problem at all. It's a simple JavaScript library React is. Okay, there is no restrictions, nothing. Okay, okay then. Now come here. We are export default template. All are okay, right? Okay, now here, how many components are there? 7 components. So if you want to create the 7 components, how many files you want me to create? 7 into 3, 21 files you want me to create or not? You have to create or not? Okay, do you want me to create the 21 files like manually? Okay, is it recommended way? Obviously no. Okay, then that time, okay, who introduced this library? Who introduced that library? Those persons only. Okay, for our developer, okay, developer purpose, okay, for only for developer purpose, okay, they make it like easy to create the components. Okay, who introduced this library? Yeah, who introduced? My Facebook people or not? My Facebook people. My Facebook people only provide you, okay, few commands, okay, to create your component, as well as this component is an individual file. Okay, there has multiple components are there. Okay, that one we can say like what? Application. That one we can say like what? Application. One component, multiple components we can say like what? Application. That application, okay, we are going to load where? Inside one container. Where is my container? This is my container. This all skeleton. Now this one can I replace? This one can I replace? This total thing can I replace up to here? Up to here, you can replace with what? You can replace with this one or not? You can replace with this one. Okay, now see, 2 parts are there. This is the component. Okay, 29 to 59, it's a component. Line number 1 to line number 66 is what? Your application or not? Why? Because inside my application, okay, there has libraries are going to load. Okay, there has one container is there. Inside this one, you can write any number of components. That component, root component, is going to render inside the container. This is nothing but what? Your application or not? It's like what? One is like application. Okay, inside that application component. So my React Facebook people provides you few commands. One is like what? To create an application, to create application skeleton, create an application. Another one is like inside application there is multiple components are there. To create a component, they provide some commands. By using that commands, by running that command, simply you can get your components as well as, okay, application. First you have to get the application or component. First, what you want me to do? First, which command you want me to run, which is given by the Facebook people? Obviously application, right? If application is not there, where is the pointing of the component? Where you want me to place the component? Inside my application only, right? First, you should have to create an application by using the commands, okay, whatever the Facebook people provide, and then based on your requirement, you can create a component by using that commands. Okay, done. Okay, once again, we'll back to this command. Now come here, lost part is there. What is the next one? The lost part. Rendering or not? Rendering or not? Now tell me, how many times you want me to render the content inside the component, inside the container? Do you want me to write each and every file? No, right? It's a one-time operation or not? It's a one-time operation or not? Okay, my root component is going to render inside the container or not? Yes or no? So that somewhere, okay, this particular code has to run only one time, okay, at first time load, which my root component has to load inside the container. Okay, so that first see the flow. My libraries has to load, my container has to load. Once my container loaded, okay, it's trying to run your root component inside the container. Now my root component, wherever it is, that particular component, okay, inside this component, any number of components you can write it, that's not a matter. Okay, finally this root component is going to load inside my container or not. So that somewhere you should have to render this particular component, root component inside the container. One time operation this is. Okay, you have to write inside which file? That is the question. React DOM.render. It's like this file. It's like a JSX file. Or which file is this? React DOM.render. It's a JS file. So that, okay, my rendering port only one time, right? Okay, that JS file is like index.js file. Index.js file. See, HTML side, which one is the root file? Which file is going to run first? Index.html. JS which will load first? Index.js or not? These are the bootstrap files. Bootstrap is the starting files. Understand? This is your full-fledged skeleton or not? A great report. Any questions so far? Okay. Okay. The next thing, there is one more drawback also there. Okay, now code wise, I separated like each and every part. Okay, library is this one, that one, like that. Running wise, okay, application running. Okay, if you want to run this one, reveal within, okay, reveal in Explorer. Okay, simply double click on that one. Simply double click on this one. Okay, now yes, I can get this output or not. Yes, I can get this output. But in your real time, okay, I will tell how to load multiple components. Everything will tell. Okay, in your real time, no application are going to run on file protocol or not. No application is going to run on file protocol or not. Agreed? Now see, if you write like single files, then the time directly I can run the file as a file protocol or not. No application is going to run on file protocol or not. Okay, which protocol is going to run? HTTP or HTTPS protocol we are going to use or not. So that this is also one drawback or not. Agreed? Yes or no? My particular page is going to run on file protocol. It's not a recommended way. So that running wise, okay, it should have to run. It should have to run on HTTP protocol or not. Yes or no? Protocol should be what? HTTP, not file protocol. The next one. If it is like a hello world or CSS, yeah, if I save this one, okay, my changes are not reflected here. Again, you have to reload or not. See this. Again, you have to reload or not. I'm going to do some changes, reload it. Those changes, reload it. Okay, more code is there. Then the time it's take like some time, right, to reload. Okay, that means what? It is going to kill. There may be a chance to kill your development time or not. Do some change, reload. Do some change, reload. It may kill your development time or not. So that I want to load my changes by default. It's like a live reload should be happen. If my application you created like a single file like HTML, then every time you have to reload it or not. Okay, that's also not happen. So that, okay, these all are like running related drawbacks or not. File running. Okay, my file should run on HTTP protocol. When it is going to run HTTP protocol? Okay, that should be, okay, if you want to run one application in HTTP protocol, that should be run in one server or not. In one server. So that server also, inbuilt server, load server, they use and run your application with the live reload. Understand or not? Okay. Now come back here. Okay, you said like, hey, these are the things. This is my basic skeleton of your application. This is my basic skeleton of your React component. Okay, I don't want to create an application like this. Okay, that means I don't want to create an application manually like this only. I don't want to create an application manually. I don't want to create a component manual like this. Each and every 3 files I want to create like manually. Means it's like a burden on my development but not developer or not. So that how I can create your application means that has few commands given by the Facebook people. What are the commands? Very simple thing. The command name is like create React app. Create React app is the command. Create React app is the command. Understand? This is the command I said, but how to use that is the question or not? How to use this command? So that first of all, come here in your application. Okay, first what you have to check, Node.js should be there or not. Okay, Node.js is installed or not. You have to check it. Node.js should be there. So that how we can check? Node.js is there or not? Can you do that? Open command prompt. Okay, just type npm or node version. Any one of this one you can use it. If it is not there, if it is there, no problem. If it is not there, what you have to do? Can anyone guess? Download. Okay, node software and install. That is the first thing you have to download node software and install. And then you have to create a React application. For that purpose, my Facebook people gives you one command call is what? Create React app. Now the thing is, if create React app is there or not, you have to check. How you want me to check? In the command prompt itself, how you check the node package manager, same like this, you have to check for what? Create React app. Okay, just type create React app, enter. If the create React app is not there, can anyone tell what is the error message you can get it? Create React app is not found as an internal or external command. Like this, you can get an error. So if the create React app is there, no problem. If it is not there, what you have to do? Download create React app software and install or not. Okay, it's not like that. First time only it's a software, Node.js software. Next time onwards, everything is given by the node package manager only. So if it is not there, simply you can run this command npm. Okay, who will take care? Node package manager will take care. Install. -g is nothing but global system level. Which command you want me to install? Create React app is the command. Done. Understand? If create React app is not there, what you have to do? You have to run this command in your command prompt. Okay, which location you want me to run? Okay, default location. Okay, if you open the command prompt, that is in which location? In that location, in system location only, you can run it. No problem at all. Up here, okay? Now, my create React app command is there now. Okay, once my second step is completed, is nothing but what? Yes, my create React app command installed. What is the purpose of this command? To get your application skeleton is nothing but what? Application skeleton is nothing but, okay, these libraries has to load. Okay, index.html should be create, and the next one is like components has to create. The next one is like rendering. All these things should have to create by default, not from my end, not my developer side. So that how we can get that application, it's very simple thing. Okay, go to one folder where you want to create. Go to one folder. Okay, where you want me to create your React application. Okay, go to one folder where you want me to create your React application with command prompt. Okay, now I want to create one React application where inside ours. Okay, my classes. Okay, this is our folder right here. I want to create application. So here you can open your command prompt. Yes. Now once you're there here, you can create your application. Okay, how you can create an application? Which command is there? Create React app. Your application name you can put it. Okay, my app. Okay, don't do like a capital letters. Simply like if you have capital letters, if you want to put it, just replace with hyphens like this. My app like this. Okay, now simply I'm going to create like my React web. My React web application. Okay, like this I can run inside the command prompt. Once you run this command prompt, what happens, Okay, now it will create my React web folder and placed the default skeleton. Okay, default Whatever the code is there, default statement boilerplate code, you can get it. It is what? Your default code, whatever the code I said, right? Okay, here the containers, all these things is going to place it. That's it. You can get your application. You can get your application. Is okay or not? Okay, these are the things. For what? To create your application. Okay, I'm pasting in your chart. Just you can get it. Okay, the same thing I'm going to place inside the content also. Create React application using Facebook commands. Yes. Okay. These are now once you created your application, the next step is what? You have to run it based on your requirement. What you have to do? You have to create some more components also, right? So that once your application creation is completed, I want to create some components. How we can create the component? It's a combination of component files, three files. I don't want to create like, okay, I don't want to create like what? I don't want to create it manually. So that what is the next one? Okay, the next one. How I can create my component. For that purpose, my React people, and they provide one more command called as a create React component. Okay, just open your command prompt, same steps. Okay, same steps. Okay, just check create React component is there or not. Create React component command is there or not. If the command is there, then no problem. If the command is not there, anyone tell what you have to do? npm install -g create react component. This is my command. Okay, now once my command is available, see -g is nothing but one-time installation. There is no need to install every time. Once it is done, if you want to create one component, how you can create a component? You know, create. Okay, where you want me to create the component, go to that folder. Okay, same like this. Go to that folder where you want me to create a component. Go to one folder where you want me to create a React component, not application now. Component with command prompt. Just run this command. Create this command. Create React component. Which component you want me to create for this requirement? Home component, the about component, or like that. So that header. Now once you run this component, once you run this command, what happened? You know, my header folder created, okay, which contains three files. Okay, header.js. The next one is my header.jsx. The next one is what? My header.css. My header.css. These three files will create. With these three files, one extra file also they will provide you. Okay, what is the purpose? We'll see. For now, just remember index.js. That's it. This is the thing. So from your end, what you people have to do is just run this command, create your application in your missions. Create your application in your missions. Okay. Where is your content? Okay, already I written inside the content, no problem there. Understand? Okay, I'll provide you this code. Okay, you can download from your JS tab. Okay, today's class, where is the today's class? Move down. Send to compressed. Today's class. Algebra. This is the one, right? This is the folder. Not from the directory. Yeah, you can download from where. Means in the past you use like React, right? Don't use that React one. Okay, you can use the JS tab. Inside the JS tab, uploaded. Okay, from JS tab you can download. Okay, inside the content.txt file, you can get all these commands. Just install these commands and create your application. Or I will tell that application contains which type of folders, what is my default code they placed, and everything we'll discuss in tomorrow's class. Okay. Okay then. Thanks guys. Thanks for joining.